Okay, we are going to cover dimension lines in this video. What are dimension lines? That is just a line that measures an object. So first of all, I need to draw an object. This is a new drawing, so I haven't set up any layers. And if you remember from our previous instructions, we want to have layers to define our drawings. It works to organize your drawing, and you will need those in order to do production type work. So first of all, I'm just going to set up in a layer. LA pulls up the layer command, or I can use the tab on the home ribbon. If I click this button, it allows me to add a new layer. I'm going to change the name to dim object. So we want this to be intuitive, not just layer 1. Okay, I'm going to change the color to, let's just say green. Hit OK. Double click this to make it the current layer. With the green check mark, that means that this is a particular layer that's being used. I'm going to use a polyline. I can use any particular object, but polyline is what I want. Okay, not drawing anything in particular. Just drawing something to do some measurements from. Hit escape to get out. So this is my object. Now I want to do some dimension lines. Let's say this was a building slab or a house slab, and I realize it's a little wonky here, and you wouldn't have a particular slab, but for learning purposes, it works. If I select the object, remember from our previous instruction that this is a polyline, so we can edit it by selecting it, and it brings up the grip edits. Any of these can be moved or particularly changed. So I want to do a dimension line, and that is available either on the Annotate tab, or I can do it from the Home ribbon. If I select the Home ribbon, I'm just going to pull down this menu to show you the different dimension capabilities that we have: linear, aligned, angular, and we're going to cover all of these in successive videos. But right now I'm just going to use the linear. As well, I'll tell you what, let me set up another layer first for our dimensions. New layer, call this dimension, change the color and make it red. Again, you should know how to do layers. It organizes your drawing and allows you to be productive and not repeat yourself over and over again. I'm going to double click to change it to the current layer. Again, green mark means that it's the current layer. Okay, so I'm going to select the linear tool, and as soon as I do, notice if I hover over a corner or a joint, the O snap is turned on, so that is wanting to pick that particular point, and that's what we want. So now I've clicked it one time, and I pull this over to the side so you can see it. This is it's not a construction line, or it's not an object. It's showing what the measurement will be if I was to select it. It's kind of hard to see when it's on top of a line, so that's why I pull it over here. But ultimately, I want to dimension this segment here. So I've clicked on the first line, first corner. I've got the second one, and I have made this dimension here. Now it's not intuitive, and we're going to discuss how to change that in another video. But this is 4.137 6 units long. Just going to do another couple here just to, and you should be doing this along with me. Draw some object that is similar to this and do all of the things that I'm doing. Don't just watch the video. You can't learn anything by not repeating it. So I'd like for you to, it doesn't have to be this particular object, but just draw an object and begin dimensioning things out. Now I'm not going to go to the toolbar anymore because it's not needed. If you're repeating a command, you can use the space bar. Escape gets you out of that tool. Now let's talk about presentation before we go into changing dimension lines and so forth. What are these objects that I've drawn? They are dimension lines. This tells you the length. We can change these arrows to different objects. And these are the witness lines. That pulls the dimension off and it doesn't crowd your object below. But this is not really intuitive. It's hard to tell. Let's say this was a building slab. So with these lines here, they're all jumbled up. So it's hard to tell. Is this part of my slab? Same thing with this. It's part of my slab. Again, this is in color, so we can intuitively see it a little bit, but once you plot it on a piece of paper in black and white, it won't be as readily clear. So we need to clean a couple of these, well, all of them up a little bit. Another rule of thumb on dimension lines: in order to not clutter your drawing, you want to line up all of the dimensions on the outside. For instance, these, you want to, they're off a little bit, so I need to adjust them. I want to make it all concise. Now, as soon as I select it, I have the ability to adjust it just like a line or any other particular object. Also can move the number around, and I'm just rolling my mouse so you can see. If I just go left or right, it just moves the witness, the leaders. But if I go up or down, I can move those as well. Okay, zoom in here or here. Now, if I zoom in far enough, there is a gap, but it's not readily apparent at a good screen size. So I need to pull these witness lines back. And again, this is the witness line. You need to know that term. Will be on a test. So just pull it back so there's a gap, and then your eye realizes that there is a particular profile to this slab. I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to go and pull this one back as well. Now in this particular dimension, I'm actually dimensioning this segment of the object. So it's appropriate to not touch this corner, but I don't want it to be lined up here because then it's unclear about what I'm dimensioning, but I want it to be something similar to that. Okay, so it gets us started on dimensions, and I will update the next video.